Hey, how's it going, everyone? So it was just brought to my attention an article talking about lawyer health and wellness. And in this article that relies on sources from the ABA, Johns Hopkins University, California Lawyers Magazine, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, Journal of Addictive Medicine, and the CDC, out of all these different studies, it showed that among lawyers, suicide rate is double that of the general population. There's a 18% chance that you're an alcoholic if you're a lawyer. It's double the national average. 33% are diagnosed with mental disorders. That's pretty crazy. And you're 3.6 times more likely to suffer severe depression. To me, this is just not surprising for what I've seen in the practice of law. Just little bits that I've personally done, and friends who are lawyers, stuff like that. Obviously, being a lawyer and having lots of friends who are lawyers by the nature of that. I've seen it quite a bit because of the nature of the legal working environment for many people. And what that is that a lot of lawyers are expected to be perfectionists. They're expected to be extremely detail oriented, to work really hard, to basically be know-it-alls, in order to make their clients feel good, to make their bosses feel good, and of course, to be able to answer any questions the judges have. But even with this high stress of needing to have perfection, and needing to constantly research cases and make sure you're up to date, because even a trial case that changes the day before, if it affects your case, you have to bring it in, otherwise you're going to be called out. So you have to have that level of perfection. If you don't follow those things through, you will be in trouble. So for people who are doing that, though, even if they do that to perfection, they still don't get the satisfaction always of the reward of their work, because the judge could rule against them or something else could go wrong. So lawyers may often be working very hard, trying to be perfectionists, and then still losing their case. And it's not because they didn't work hard or do a lot of research, but the judge just rules against them, whether it's because they just don't meet the criteria of what the judge is looking for, the judge is biased, whatever it is. You don't have control over that work product, which I think is frustrating for a lot of people, especially where you put so much time and effort into something. In another type of work field, you have an end product that you can control. If you're building a car, writing software, even making a sandwich, you at least have the satisfaction typically that you have an end product that works, that you can work toward that being a functional thing. But you could work your butt off on a case and it's gone. So there's all that pressure. And then, of course, you have the emotional element of the clients and things like that, especially if it's criminal defense or divorce or something that, is very high stress, a lot of emotions. It can be very tiring. And it's just not surprising that there's this level of dysfunction among lawyers, just with the nature of legal work and how much one has to know and keep abreast of, and have a lot of pressure put on, especially if you're on like billable hours that are done in like 6 minutes or 15-minute increments somewhere in there, and you're constantly having to say what you're doing for a major law firm. I mean, that could be pretty stressful. And because of this, this article, it says 7 out of 10 would change careers. It's just not surprising. A lot of people who go into law eventually down the road regret it, because it's a very stressful working environment for many people. Of course, not for all, and there are plenty who do enjoy it and thrive in it. But I think a lot of people go into law school, as I've noted, under false pretenses that it's the path to riches, and there's prestige and honor, it's just great. And it's like, no, it's a lot of just one-upmanship with people, keeping up with the Joneses for aesthetic appearances, but really just being stressed out. I mean, you have a really nice suit, nice car, but you're up to your neck in debt. You're just trying to keep up appearances to look professional, and your business is under debt. Trying to keep things afloat. I mean, it's very difficult. It's a very competitive legal market, and things have settled. There are a little bit more jobs, but as I've noted, the jobs that are out there just don't pay like they used to. You're not coming out with 6-figure salaries as much anymore for the average lawyer. The average lawyer back in the day would be coming out of law school and having reasonable prospects with a higher paying job, but it's just not the case anymore, especially with technology. In the market, everything's being outsourced, and most lawyers are coming out making pittances, making no more than what many college graduates are making. And now they're, working these salary jobs with crazy hours, and it's extra stressful, and they're stuck because they need to pay off their student loans. So I thought this is important to share just because, I think it's a really good insight into the risks of the nature of legal work. Of course, there are people who are bringing those risks in, just their personality types might be addictive and this or that, and a lot of A types, in law. But I do think that from what I've seen and studied that there is also an environmental causation factor with that. And as it's noted, that's why many people would change careers if given the chance eventually, in law practice. A lot of people who go into it end up saying, oh, this wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's not like TV. I mean, for some it is. Like, I mean, when I practiced criminal defense, it really did feel like, the TV stuff to some degree. It was a lot of fun. And I do miss some of those things. I might get back into it, but, there's a lot of fun to the criminal defense side, but really, I mean, most people are not doing that. Most people are not having that much courtroom experience. People who are actually getting, real jobs that pay decently are the ones who are just, writing briefs and memos for higher ups at bigger firms, at major law firms. And that's pretty dry stuff. So, all right, buddy, I will talk to you later.